Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick video on my ultrasound results for my 20-week anatomy scan. And I had that done on the 3rd of January. And I got the results on Monday. What day? Monday the 9th. She had called me on Thursday. What day was that? Like the 5th, but that was the night that I got sick. So, and I thought, so it's super strange. Okay, let's back up. So my 20-week anatomy scan with my son was done, like we lived in a different place, so it was done in a different place. And it was done by what I believe to be an ultrasound tech, I guess. I mean, I don't exactly know. But she wasn't a doctor, I know that much. And she basically scanned me and, told me, oh, here's the heart, here's the brain, here's the, all of this, and showed me all of it. So that's what I was expecting this time. Well, this time we go in, and the guy's like, well, I can only take the patient back. So my husband and my son stayed in the waiting room, and he said to me that he wasn't going to, when we got back to the room, he said, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm just going to scan the baby, so I'm not going to be talking. It's like, okay. And like where I could lay, I could see the screen at an angle, and I could see her move in there, and I could feel her move. And she was way down in my pelvis, so it was really uncomfortable. And this guy kept saying, like, he was a photographer, and that the radiologist would, like, he takes the pictures and the radiologist looks at it. So, he said that all of her measurements were congruent with each other. She was measuring 1 week ahead, so she was measuring 21 weeks and 3 days, and I was 20 weeks and 3 days at the time. And I could see her heart in there. He told me her heart rate. I posted it on Facebook. It was like 150 something. So, and I didn't get to hear it. He just, like took a picture of it or whatever. You know how they do the sound waves and then measured the sound waves. And then at the end, when he was done scanning, he went and got my husband, and like, I didn't ask about the gender. I thought he was going to tell me, you know what I mean? But, so my husband came in and, like, had said her or something like that. And so the guy was, like, trying to get a picture of her face, which she was, like, so wedged down in there that he couldn't really get a good picture of her face. And so he swiped over her lady parts between her legs just for a few, like hardly any time. But I could still tell that, she's still a little baby girl in there. And he didn't take any pictures of that. So I thought, since he seemed like everything was fine, that everything was fine, right? And, she's measuring bigger and yada, yada, yada. So then I got that call on Thursday that I missed. And so I called back on Monday and to talk to my doctor, and she said that her the tube that connects her kidney to the bladder, which is the ureter, is dilated. And she said that it's not so extreme that it's not like bells and whistles going off kind of thing, but that since it's dilated, I need to have another scan 6 to 8 weeks from the first scan I had to compare them. And she said that it could have been that urine was passing through the tube during the time of the scan, and that could make the tube dilated. And I didn't really ask that many questions because I was really in shock. I was in shock. I was confused. And this doctor, like, I really adore her. But she says everything in such a calm way that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's totally cool. Like, that's how I felt, you know, when she was talking to me, which is nice. But, so, I didn't really ask that many questions. So I'm not 100%, you know, I really don't know, like, the prognosis, if it is dilated and all of those things. But I did some research online, and it said that one thing that can cause a problem from that is if the bladder isn't emptying properly because of the tube being dilated, that you can have low amniotic fluid, and that can cause the lungs to not develop like they should at the rate they should. And of course other super scary things, you know, like what's the word? Renal failure, when your kidneys shut down. That's a super scary thing. So, you know, these are all worst case scenarios, so I'm trying to not freak out. And I was going to call her back, but I figured that I have an appointment in like 2 weeks. I'm not going to see her, I'm going to see a different doctor, but I'm sure that doctor will know just as much about the situation. So I'm just going to have some questions then, but I'm sure they're probably going to tell me, you know, until you get the other scan to compare them, we can't, you know, give you a diagnosis or anything like that. So I'm just praying that if something is wrong, that her other kidney is perfect, because you can live with just one kidney. And all I care about is her living. I don't care. I mean, of course I care. I don't want her to have any kind of surgery. I don't want anything to be wrong with her. But if it is, as long as she lives, as long as she lives. So, I'm trying not to freak out. I'm trying not to go crazy. I'm trying to focus on happy things like planning her nursery and all of that. So, I plan to schedule the scan at 6 weeks because I can't wait 2 more weeks. So I plan on scheduling it for the 14th of February, and my son's birthday is on the 19th. So, and we are going to where our family lives to celebrate his birthday. So I really would like to know before then, so I have answers for my family, so it's not constantly like, well, blah, 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 you know, so I can actually give them an answer. So I don't have all of these questions. So yeah, I don't know what else. Oh, and also my mom, she knew someone whose son had a dilated ureter, and when he was 2 he had to have his kidney removed, but he's been perfectly healthy and fine the rest of his life. So, you know, that story kind of made me feel good, you know, because you can live with just one kidney. And, you know, it just makes me sad to think, like, you know, when she's older, she only has one kidney. What if something happens to the other kidney? And because I'm her mother, I'm probably not going to be a match. And I don't know why, that just makes me so sad, because I would give her my kidney in 2 seconds. I would have to think about it. So. But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys that update on little baby Amelia. So please just keep us in your thoughts and prayers. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.